Hey guys, welcome to and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. I'm Davi'Aunna Marie. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to become part of family. Today I'll be watching Mr. TikToks. So let's get into this video. I start screen recording in 3, 2, 1.
Yo, this is the story time y'all all been waiting for. Okay, so this story time, I'm going to be telling y'all how my ex had smashed my sister trying to get revenge on me and ended up catching an STD. So basically, right, my ex-boyfriend had broke up with me for no reason at all, right? And then when he came back, he was like, give me another chance. I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking. I was just like, I don't want to be with you anymore. Like, I found my self-worth. I just don't want to be in a relationship. I don't want to be with you. And then he was like, bet, you're going to regret that. You're going to regret that. Watch. And I'm like, okay. So then we was on it. He called me. He FaceTimed me. And I was like, what's up? He was like, I'm about to send you something. I was like, all right. He sent me a video of him smashing my sister with no condom. So I was like, what did you just send me? And then he was like, yeah, I smashed his sister, and I enjoyed every second of it. And I started bagging up on the phone. Like, when I tell you I was laughing so hard. And he was like, what's funny? Why are you laughing? Why aren't you mad? Like, what's funny? What's really funny? Like, I don't understand what you're laughing for. I don't catch the joke. And I'm like, oh, I catch the joke, all right. He was like, yeah. Anyways, like I said, I enjoyed every second of it. I said, you're going to enjoy Bernie, too, because, listen. He was like, what are you talking about? I was like, so I see in this video you don't have nothing on, like, protection. So, like, did she initiate that you guys should go raw? And then he was like, yup, sure did, and it felt real good. And I'm like, yeah, and you know what else is about to feel good? You burning, yeah. So I was like, she didn't tell y'all before y'all did what she did, that she had something. She didn't disclose that information before suggesting herself that you guys should do something without a condom. He was like, huh? She ain't got nothing. She would have told me. And I'm like, you know, and deep in the back of my mind, it's kind of like, I think she knew what she was doing, but at the same time, why would you feel comfortable doing something with my boyfriend? Mind you, I don't like my sister at all. We haven't talked in a long time, but it's kind of like, she kind of knew. It's kind of like she was on my side, but she wasn't on my side. At the same time, y'all get what I'm saying? So he's like, if I got something, I swear I'm coming after both of y'all. I'm like, I didn't tell you to do what you did. You did that. He was like, I'm going to take her to court, and yeah. And I'm like, that's between y'all. I really don't care. I could care less. So then he got mad. He hung up. Then his results came back that he had it or whatever. And he was just real mad and salty. My thing is, I don't understand why you were trying to be petty. You ended up hurting yourself at the end of the day. You look stupid. You look like a goofy. And, you know, it's just kind of like, I laughed more than I felt hurt, honestly. Like, it was just like, you played yourself. You really did, so.
This is karma for him, ain't it? I'll be playing the next one in 3, 2, 1.
I told myself I would never tell this story again. This was like a story that I left in the group chat, and even my friends were like, girl, do not tell that story. That is so embarrassing. If I embarrass myself in front of the entire island, I might as well just tell the story again. I'm also going to try the false scare since everyone's been talking about it, so let's do it. Puerto Rico, I didn't have the intention of finding a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, first time we go out as a whole group. So we're like dancing and everything, and these group of guys walk in. So they're dancing, and I keep seeing this guy look at me, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, let me separate from my friends and dance by myself a little bit. Because I have like guy friends in there, you know, so I don't want them to think I was with them. And sure enough, it works. One of the guys takes the bait. And I could tell like his friends are like telling him like, yo, go ask her. And it's like cute, like we're dancing some merengue. I introduces himself and like introduces his old friends or whatever. And I swore he said his name was Alejandro, like I swear. As soon as he speaks, I could tell he's from the island. And I was like, oh my gosh, Lord help me. It's like my first day out here and we already booed up. But then one of my guy friends comes over to me and kisses me on the cheek. Why would you do that? I turn around and the guys are gone. My friends go chasing after them, trying to find them. They don't find them anywhere. I'm heartbroken. I just lost the love of my life. So I tell my friend, I'm like, how about if I make a video about it? Like, how about if I'm like, TikTok, do your thing? Because in my head, guys, because I'm a hopeless romantic, in my head, I was like, that was the love of my life, and he just walked out the door. Like, so I decided to go on another account, post it, and the video starts to gain traction on Puerto Rican TikTok. Maybe like 2 days later, I get a DM, and it's him. So the guy responds to one of my stories. Oh, like, you danced with blah 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 last night, like my name's not Alejandro, ha ha ha. And I'm like, oh my gosh, haha, this is so embarrassing, oh my gosh, like I could have sworn you said your name was Alejandro. And he just responds, ha ha ha. So I'm just kind of like, okay, like what do I even say back to that? On top of that, the guy didn't follow me. I'm just gonna like leave you on red because You might have a girlfriend. So then the next 2 days, he's one of the first people to see my stories. So he was obviously still watching my stuff. So maybe like 2 weeks later, it's the day before I'm about to leave Puerto Rico. We're at the first day of La Sunset, right? So that night, there was bodies on bodies. Who do I see? Him. We were like forced to pass by each other because it was like so many bodies. We're walking this way, him and his friends are walking this way. I decided, you know what? I'm gonna act like I don't see him. I feel like had reached for me, and it's him. God, why? Why is he doing this? I'm acting like I'm so embarrassed and shy and stuff. So I could like barely hear him. He kept talking. I honestly could not hear what he said. All I remember was man's had his hand like low. Like he did like a little waist thing, and I was like, oh, he knows what he's doing. He pulls me in for this very like romantic hug, like with his hands around my waist and everything. He moves on, I move on. Friends are like, yo, this guy's still looking over here. Like, I think he's gonna ask you to dance. So then a fight breaks out, and then we all get separated. And I never saw him again. Like, the man literally came out of his way to say hi to me. But after all that, never followed me on Instagram. He's probably gassed up because he's like, she's still talking about me. No. I moved on.
So is she mad about a Instagram follow? I don't know. But we're finna go to the next one.
My best friend of 5 years just stabbed me in the back and got with my ex. And she thought I wouldn't find out, but I did. So let's do a story time. Her and I have been best friends off and on. I say off and on because she's always done things that just don't add up. But for these past 2 years, we've been solid. Like, I see her almost every single day, and when we don't see each other, we're always FaceTiming. This just happened, so I'm still freaking out. When I was with my ex, she would always insist on us three hanging out. Like, me and her couldn't hang out alone anymore. She'd always want him to come. And her excuse was, oh, because I want to get to know him, and I need to make sure I like who you're with. After the first day that she actually met him, I forgot about this. She went and followed his Instagram, and she didn't even tell me that she was going to follow my boyfriend at the time. Like, she just went ahead and followed him. But why did she only like one picture? A picture of him from 2 years ago. Just of him. So I screenshotted it and sent it to her and just asked her, hey, like, why? Her excuse was, oh my gosh, I was stalking his page late last night to make sure like there was no girls. I was just trying to be a good friend to you, and I must have accidentally liked his selfie. I'm little delusional over here, and I believed her because she was my best friend. Oh, trust me, it's about to get way worse. I would always go to my job at a certain time. Like, my schedule has always been the same since I started there, and my boyfriend at the time would always bring me lunch. He told me he was craving Chipotle and he was gonna bring me Chipotle. He would always show up at the exact time I'd clock out for my lunch, but for some reason that day he was running a little late, and this is where I put pieces together. Him and I would share locations with each other, so I was easily just able to see where he was, but I also shared my locations with my best friend. It was at the same Chipotle that he was going to. So instead of watching his location, I just started watching hers. I saw her location slowly start moving towards my job. So I thought, delusional again, that they're coming to surprise me. Like, he came with her to surprise me. Until I saw her location stop down the street from my job. When my boyfriend showed up without her, I asked him, what were you guys doing together? I know you guys were together. He told me he had no idea what I was talking about and he had not seen her. So he denied it, so I went and asked her. And her story, same thing. I was not with him. I don't know what you're talking about. It's just a coincidence. She claimed that she didn't want to be in our drama and she's just going to turn her locations off permanently with me. I'm not even going to talk about him and I, but just know that we split on bad terms. But of course, when we split up, my best friend was so there for me, so supportive, and was telling me how he was trash and I didn't deserve him, and she knew all along. So how did I figure out that they've been secretly like with each other? Her and I had plans for that, and she told me that she had to cancel because her family's beach house was going to be open and no one was Airbnb-ing it. And she said that they were going to go. Normally, when she'd go to her beach house, though, I'd always get invited. And this time she insisted that it's just strictly family. So I decided I'll just take myself to Target and have like a self-care pampering night. And when I was at Target, I heard my name being called from somebody behind me. It was her mom and little brother. Then she asked me, wait, why aren't you at the beach house with my best friend? Then I flipped a Uno reverse. Well, why aren't you at the beach house with my best friend? When I tell you guys how bad my stomach dropped, then her mom says, well, I know she's there because the Ring doorbell keeps like sending me notifications. When you get a gut feeling, you just know. So I asked her, pull that up right now. And sure enough, there they were. My heart is like absolutely shattered by both of them, but just mainly because my best friend could do something like that, and I just feel like Actually, no, that story was from Reddit, and I would definitely invite that girl to Big Hearts Only Club, which is an all-girl group here in Southern California that gets together to make genuine friendships within women. For any girl who's struggling to make genuine friendships or just finds themselves feeling like their friends could be wishy-washy on a dime, that is why I created Big Hearts Only Club for the girls and the girls only who support one another, encourage, and uplift, and aren't like that girl, and are not like that girl. Big Hearts Only Club on Instagram. I'm gonna go read more Reddit stories.
Don't have friends like that, okay? Don't have friends like that. We finna play the next video.
Ooh, I have got some steamy hot brothel drama straight out the kitchen for you this morning. One of my coworkers pulled me aside and was like, do you remember so-and-so? And I was like, I'm better with faces than names, honey. You gotta do better than that. And she was like, you made a video about him a while back, about him coming here with his wife. And I was like, oh yeah, that guy. What about him? Well, apparently he's been seeing my coworker for a few times now. And I was like, did I see you guys have an overnight the other week? And she's like, yeah, he stayed here with me the whole night, and that's the last time I saw him. And I'm like, well, what happened? And a little backstory on this man. I don't have a video posted on this profile, but I'll make a new story time. He came to see me a while ago at this point. The first time I met him, we negotiated and he had to step out of the room, or he asked me to step out of the room rather, so he could call his wife and make sure that that was okay, because it was more than the amount that they had agreed upon before he left the house. And everything was cool. We had a great party, and he said, I would love you to meet my wife. I think you guys would really mesh. She's looking to have an experience here and she never has before. I'll get into the details in another video, but basically he came back. I had dinner with him and his wife. He partied with another lady and I partied with his wife. Neither the husband or the wife booked with me again after that, so I didn't see them and haven't kept up with them. My coworker's like, yeah, well, you want to know what happened? And I was like, girl, yes, I want to know what happened. So apparently he told his wife before he came out for their overnight appointment, I'm in love with this woman. I'm gonna tell her. And his wife was like, great, you should do that. I'm seeing a man on the side and I have feelings for him. So he comes and he tells my coworker he is in love with her. He has got real feelings for her. Will she come and see him on the outside? Can they form a real relationship? And in the most polite and considerate way possible, she very gently explained to him, this is her job. This is just a transaction for her. Although she cares about him as a person, she does not reciprocate those feelings. And he got very mad and he called her a dirty hooer. Oh no. Let me tell you something. You know what I do for a living? I expect people to be disgusted and repulsed by me. So newsflash, it does not hurt my feelings or anybody else's feelings when you meet that expectation. That's not even the end of the drama though. He emailed her a few days after their appointment and was like, my wife has an odor down there that she's never had before, so explain yourself. And my coworker said that she did not respond to him and she's not going to respond to him because what does she have to explain? And I have to agree with her because we use protection for all activities here. We have no body fluid exchange whatsoever and we are tested every 7 days. And he already said his wife's fucking somebody else, so you need to handle that at home. I just knew when I met this couple way back though that this is the kind of thing that was gonna go on. I was like, they need to get divorced. They are coming here to put a band-aid on a divorce situation.
Okay, next. Get ready with me to go break up with my boyfriend of 4 years.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
We've been dating for 4 years. And basically, he cheated on me.
Side eye.
He cheated on me. The way I found out he was cheating on me with my best friend. So we were having this sleepover thingy. We got an Airbnb. I go upstairs, right? And it was a bunch of people and they were all sleeping together or whatever. I look to my left and I see them linked together. I'm like, what the heck? Like cuddling. So yeah,
I know something you don't. I know something you will never know.
she guilty. Guilty. Next video.
You know what I really fucking hate? A delusional ass bitch. I've really been trying my best to keep quiet, but I'm really tired of it at this point. So I was friends with this one girl and we just stopped being friends like maybe a month or two ago. Let me list a couple of reasons why we stopped being friends. She was a control freak, a liar, definitely narcissistic, and she had really bad main character syndrome. So let's get into the first reason, control freak. So just a little bit of context, I became friends with her through someone that I was talking to, and she was best friends with this other girl that I was also friends with. Whenever we would try to link up and come up with plans, everybody would throw their suggestions in, and she would knock them down every single time. For example, her best friend wanted to go bowling, and we were all down with it, except for her. She likes to put things in ways where if she don't want to do it, then why do the rest of us want to do it? And then the rest of us, we'd be like, oh, okay, well, I mean, like, it don't really matter. We really just want to, like, hang out. But at the end of the day, it does hurt because it's like, damn, like, you never want to do what I want to do. And it was always to her best friend, too. Her best friend was always throwing out ideas, and she would always shoot them down. But every time that she put out an idea, she expected everybody to just go along with it. And it felt like we could never hang out without taking pictures of her. When I tell you, I still have so many fucking pictures in my phone of just this girl because she would literally have a mood at the hangout or whatever we're doing until we started taking pictures. And mind you, no pictures of all of us together. She never wanted that. She just wanted pictures of herself. Next. So now this is the one that really made me look at her differently because, like, bitch, why are you lying? So I was friends with her maybe for like a year and a half, maybe almost 2 years. And since the first time that I met her, the first thing that she would let people know is that she was autistic. Now, mind you, I never questioned it because I'm not going to be the type to be like, oh, are you really autistic? Like, I'm not going to say that. I figure if someone is saying it, they have it, you know? And she was my friend, so I wasn't going to question her. It got to the point where that was her answer for everything. That was her punchline for everything. Here's an example. Hold on, I had to put some lip gloss on. My lips were getting chapped. So one time, me, her best friend, and my friend, we all went out to eat together. Our waiter was really nice. He was really sweet. He was really funny. Me, her best friend, my friend, were all making jokes with him, laughing, talking. And she is being rude as hell and mean as hell. Like, it was to the point where he would ask her if she wanted anything else. And she would be like, did I say I wanted something else? Like, she was just being real bitchy. And so the first time she talked out of her neck at him, we were like, girl, what is wrong with you? And she's, you guys know I'm autistic. So this was like maybe 4 months ago. So mind you, we had been friends for almost 2 years. So at this point, all of us at the table are fucking tired of hearing, oh, it's because I'm autistic. We were sick of it. So we just didn't say shit. Like, we used to laugh when she would say that because we're like, oh, okay, like, she's trying to, like, make light of the fact that she has this, you know, condition. But at this point, it's like, girl, you really using autism as an excuse for you being a bitch to this waiter who did nothing to you? And, like, at one point, she even said it to him, and even he looked confused, like, okay. So here's where the lie comes in. The bitch is not clinically diagnosed as autistic. So after the dinner, I look at her best friend. I think the girl had left by then. So it was just me, her best friend, and my other friend at my house. And I look at her best friend and I'm like, hey, yo, is she, like, clinically diagnosed as autistic? Because, like, I realized that I never asked. And so at this moment, the person I'm talking to comes out and he heard what I said. And they both were like, oh, yeah, like, she told us that, you know, she went to the doctor and, you know, they told her that she was autistic. Like, they even said that she showed them papers, like, proof that she was diagnosed. And so I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll drop it. Because, like, it's just weird. Like, every 2 seconds, it's I'm autistic this. Oh, autism. Oh, you know, I'm on the spectrum. So maybe like a week or two after that dinner, I remember I was on the phone with her and a best friend. And she was trying to get some, like, you know, important job to where they needed to know if you had any mental issues or, like, any conditions or anything like that before they gave you the job. So being that I really still did not believe that she was clinically diagnosed, I decided to ask. I decided to take that moment to be like, hey, you know, like, do they know that you're autistic? And so she goes, oh, well, it's not documented that I'm autistic, so, like, I don't really have to tell them. What? So me and the best friend are automatically looking at each other like, what the fuck do you mean it's not documented? And so I try my best not to react, and I'm just like, oh, okay, so, like, did you, you know, like, get, like, clinically diagnosed? The bitch says no. So we continue talking about her little job or whatever, and after we hang up, me and the best friend are looking at each other like, the fuck? So now the best friend is confused because they've been friends a lot longer than I have. And for as long as she can remember, her best friend has been talking about how she's autistic. And now you just not talking about you haven't been clinically diagnosed. Girl, that word was fucking me up. So after that, I went to go talk to the person I was talking to. I was like, hey, yo, like, your friend just said that she never got clinically diagnosed. And he was like, that's not true. Like, she showed us proof. Like, she showed us papers. And I'm like, that's not what she just said. She said it was never documented. And like that really made me start thinking of her like, you're weird, bitch. Like, you're really weird. Why are you using autism as an excuse for being a bitch, making jokes? The punchline is always, yeah, I'm on the spectrum. Like, why are you using autism as a joke? What the fuck is wrong with you? So I told her best friend, I was like, you know what's going to be really funny is if now that we know that she's not clinically diagnosed, if them little autistic jokes stop. And wouldn't you know, the bitch never used that joke ever again after we found out she wasn't clinically diagnosed. And it's really funny too, because not too long after that, it came up in the conversation that she had did like an online test and determined that she could possibly be on the spectrum. Thinking that you might be on the spectrum, valid. But going around telling everybody that you actually have autism, weird. This list is draining me already. There's so much more to this weird ass bitch. I'm gonna elaborate on one more reason, because I can't really even continue to go into depth about this bitch. Like, she really has me completely triggered and traumatized. Like, I haven't even made no new friends out here in Texas yet. So we can save the narcissistic personality reason for another day. Let's go ahead and get into the main character syndrome. It's more like main character / pick me. Let's start with pick me. Now, I'm not gonna crack shorty. She is beautiful, gorgeous. Her makeup always on 10, hair always perfectly curled. She's a beautiful girl. And I completely understand not feeling like you're beautiful sometimes, because trust me, I have those moments a lot. But it would get to the point where we could tell that she was like fishing for compliments, fishing for reassurance, and that shit was getting draining. For example, shorty would go from talking about how bomb her makeup is, how bomb this is, how like talking herself up, to completely like forgetting that she just pretty much told us that she was Queen Bee. So it would go a little something like this. Like, oh my God, my highlight is looking so good. Like, do y'all see my makeup? Like, really, like, I did that. Like, do you guys see my hair? Like, the curls, the hair, period. Like, get into it. 10 minutes later, when the conversation is no longer about her and the intention is no longer on her. Guys, do you think that my makeup, like, actually looks okay? Are you sure? Okay. Because, like, I don't know. Like, I really think I messed up on my eyelashes. Like, are you sure? Okay, what about my outfit? Does my outfit look all right? Because I don't know. And when she first started doing that shit, I'm a girl's girl through and through. So I'm like, oh my God, yes, girl. Like, you look so good. Like, yes. Like, what do you mean? Like, didn't you just say that you was a bad bitch? Like, yeah, girl, keep that energy. Like, you are everything. After a while, I started to pick up on it. I'm like, girl, why do you need me to validate you every 2 seconds? And you just finished talking about how bomb you were. But now that the conversation ain't about you, now that we talking about something else, now that we complimenting shorty over here, now you want to act like come on now. So that kind of leads into the main character syndrome. If we're all cracking jokes, her joke has to be the last one and the funniest one. She always wanted to steal somebody's spotlight. And that leads me to the last example. This girl was a low-key artist, which means that she wrote songs, she sang, she rapped a little bit, but didn't nobody know that. So being that my friend was also a singer, I figured that they would, get along well. So I'm hyping my friend up. I'm like, yeah, like, she can sing, girl. Like, you should hear her sing. So the girl's like, oh, okay, let's hear you sing. So she starts playing some music and everything that my friend knows so that she can sing along to it. So we're all vibing, hyping shorty up. Even the girls hyping her up a little bit. Like, we're all feeling it. Like, she's singing her ass off. After a while, we realized that the music was slowly turning into songs that only she knew. So once we all realized that, we just stopped singing and we just let her take it away because we're like, well, okay, damn. So it gets to the point where she's like, oh, have you ever heard this song? Like, this song has a really hard riff. Like, I want to see if you can do it. And so before the song even comes on, she's sitting there doing the riff like, oh yeah, it's really hard. Like, I don't even know if I can do it. And then she does it. Girl, be for real. So my friend is struggling a little bit because even though she can sing really well, like, she has to know that riff in order to do the riff. So while my friend is struggling, I noticed that her face is looking at her like, yeah, you can't do that riff, can you? So I chimed in. I helped her do the riff, and my friend did it, and she killed it. And you should have seen Shorty's face. She was pissed off. There is so much more to this girl, but I've already wasted enough time talking about her. I'm already up to the 10-minute limit. But yeah, if y'all want to hear more about this weird bitch, just let me know.
New friends. Time for new friends. Next video.
home alone and you hear a knock, don't answer the door. That was my grandmother's one rule when she left me the family house. I thought it was just the rantings of an old woman. I didn't know how real the rule was until the other night. The house I inherited was deep in the forest, far from bustling city noises. Silence was the unspoken language here, except sometimes you would hear the owls. But the other night when I was sitting in the living room reading a book, that's when I heard it. There was a single knock at the front door. And then I remembered my grandmother's warning. If you're home alone and you hear one knock, don't answer the door. I looked over at my grandfather clock in the corner. It was midnight. I told myself that the knock was just a figment of my imagination. It was just the house settling, or a fallen branch against the door. But then it came again, a single solitary knock. But this time it sounded closer. I was panicking. I just stood there staring at the door. The third knock was so loud that it made the door rattle. There was no more denying it. Something was at the door.
Don't open the door. Walk away from it. What you mean? Make sure it's locked. Next video.
I caught this nigga with a bitch. Let me clock this T. We gonna call this nigga lanky because I already be slanging his lanky ass through the house before he even played with me like this. Let me give y'all the backstory. So we been on and off since 8th grade, and it's definitely been that toxic shit. Like, it just definitely been that on and off all this shit already. But I don't play that shit. And he know I don't play this shit. Whatever the case may be, we've been arguing all day. I gotta go to work because I'm a manager and I'm going to work. I don't care what's going on, I'm going to work. On a regular day, I'm talking about texting all day, either on the phone, my whole shift, something. I'm gonna hear from him. Nothing. Okay, we've been mad at each other all day. We've been arguing. Okay, so I text him, trying to be the bigger person, and it gave dry. I called, and it was just definitely giving dry. Like, okay, now in my head, I'm going over there after work. Delusional? That's me. It's no doubt in my mind that I'm trying to do everything at work. Anything I can do to leave early, I'm doing that shit because I'm going over. My manager, the one over me, said I could get off early. So I'm supposed to get off at 2 something in the morning. I got off at 12. 12 came, I'm out the door. I don't never text and say, like, I'm on the way. Like, I just pull up. It's never a problem for me to just pull up. His house is about 15 minutes from my job, but it's something in my mind, like, some just telling me some shit going on. Like, your intuition, trust that shit. The gas station is 2 minutes from his house, and probably not even that. But I was being smart with it. I texted him and I was like, I'm on the way. I'm 2 minutes from your house in reality. This nigga gonna text me back and say, my mama tripping right now. Come tomorrow. Mind you, we've been talking since 8th grade, so I'm always there when she going off on them, any of that. Like, she don't care that I'm there. She still gonna go off. So what do you mean your mama tripping right now? Come tomorrow. I didn't even put my gas. I text his phone like, I'm already outside. I need to get something out your room because, mind you, I be there almost every night, spending the night. I get out the car. The side door is open. And when I spend the night on any other occasion, he'll text me and be like, the door is open, so you could just come in the door. So I'm used to just going in the door. So I go in the door. His sister and his cousin was both sitting on the bed. I'm talking about when I walked in, it was like they seen a fucking ghost. I'm like what? Like, what's going on? He come out the room with a Walmart bag with my stuff in it. Like, he was finna bring it outside. Like, he wasn't even finna let me come in the house type shit. But I'm already in here. Like, I'm already in here, so what? So I'm like, I didn't even come to get that. Like, that's not what I was coming to get. So I proceed to go in his room. He like, hold on, why I'm holding on? So I'm like, I can't go in your room. Why I can't go in your room? I'm talking about we is tussling. We is wrestling on the floor. Like, he got my leg. I'm reaching for the door. He is really tussling on me so I don't get in his room. He doing everything for me not to get in his room. We is crawling to the door like racing. In my head, I'm thinking it's a bitch that I done already caught him with before. And I'm finna be tussling with a bitch in here. I get the door open and it's a girl on the bed and she's smoking a black. Like, she just sitting there. I'm like, who is you? We gonna call her a roach because you only get seen at night. She instantly like, I ain't know he had no girlfriend. Like, he ain't tell me nothing about you. Da-da-da. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I'm his girlfriend. Been his girlfriend for 4+ years. I ain't even do nothing to the girl because at this point, my beef not with you. My beef is with him. Back outside to his sister room because his sister room is connected to his room. This nigga is pacing back and forth. What is you pacing for? I instantly dive in his shit instantly. Eat his ass from his sister room to his room. We on the bed, everything. Like, I made his ass touch all 4 walls in that bitch. Yeah, I kid y'all not, I'm 5 feet. Right on the dot, 5 feet. And I beat his ass. Like, don't play with me. Like, you really playing in my face. Seriously? So, with all the commotion going on, his mama finally wake up. And she like, what's going on? I'm like, he got a girl in there. She go in there. She look at the girl. She like, come on, baby. Like, she like, get her out of here. He trying to fight. He still want to fight. Why you the mad one? We start fighting again. And I just walk out the house because now I know you mad because I just beat your ass in front of all your folks. I get in my car and I go home. The little person in your head, make sure you always listen to her because she gonna never fail you, I promise.
You his girlfriend. Why he trying to put you out for? Anyways, next video.
Hey y'all, get ready with me while I tell you how my friend group of 5 went to 4 in one night. I had this wonderful friend group of 5 girls, of course, and it was just a regular hang at night, not too long ago actually, during spring break, and I had all my girls over. Until, of course there's always an until, the one girl in our group, let's call her Lily, we were as a group collectively deciding which Disney character reminded us of each. I know girls get their feelings hurt easily, and no one was like mean or anything. Like, I was Rapunzel, someone else was Belle. Like, you know, it wasn't mean. And we got to Lily. I don't even remember what they called her, but she ended up getting her feelings hurt and started like shouting and making it a bigger deal. We were doing this discussion in the kitchen, and so I looked around and there was a butter knife on the table, and I said, why don't we do a talking butter knife? So basically, if you were holding the butter knife, you could talk and nobody else could, because everyone was shouting at this point. And being 100% honest, this actually worked, except for Lily. She did not want to do the talking butter. We ended up stopping the game because it got too much because of Lily, and we just went on our way. Well, anywho, a few hours had gone by, like maybe 2, and we had not seen Lily. So because I was hosting the little sleepover, I decided to go, find her and check on her, because again, she is our friend. So I looked for like 30 minutes, couldn't find her. I'm calling her name, and I'm looking in the bathrooms, and I go in my little sister's bathroom. It's completely dark, and she was sitting in front of the door in the dark of my sister's bathroom. And like, she heard me call her name and didn't respond. I practically pushed my way through this door to sit down and talk to her, and she's basically like crying, and I'm like scrolling on Shein, and I'm like, what's wrong? And she's like, nothing continuously, right? And then I just leave, because if you're not gonna tell me what's wrong, there's nothing I can do for you. Okay, so I ended up going back downstairs, and then I heard her talking super loudly right close to my mom's room. At this point, it's like 3 a.m. She has to get up for work in about 2 hours, and she's sitting there talking super loudly on the phone, and I snapped. So I go to the room where she's at, right by my mom's room, and I'm like, hey, listen, you can be upset, that's totally okay, but you cannot sit here, be loud on the phone when my mom is trying to sleep after so much she does for us. She ends up refusing to move and gets louder. And I'm being calm, patient, no cussing, nothing. I wasn't being mean. I was like, listen, you really need to move. You can go to the living room, you can go to my room, you can go outside, but you need to move. And when I said she could go outside, she goes, "So you're kicking me out?" No. Well, at this point, she's on the phone with her mom or grandma, and she's screaming, cussing, yelling, begging to come get her to pick her up because we're ganging up on her, when I was literally just... It's giving pathological liar. Like, I tried to be nice, but you're not getting your ass up and moving, and you're going to wake my mom up, and she's gonna get mad at me. And so then I got mad, and I was like, "Get your ass up and go. Now. Now, go." I was so mad. And she finally gets up, goes outside, sits outside, crying, cussing at her mom, like, "Come pick me up." And she's like, "It's 3 a.m., I'm not picking you up." She's like, "I don't give a shit, come pick me up." You know what I mean, right? Ends up convincing grandma, mom, I don't know, to come get her. And so we go upstairs. I was like, "You're not coming back in, like, with this state of frantic, manic. You're not." And I left the door open. She's sitting right there by the door, and I'm like, "We'll go get your bag. It's already packed," because it was the last night they were spending the night. "Bring it down. We'll bring it. Go," right? And then she's like, calls her mom, and her mom's like, "Walk to the end of the driveway, and we'll get you." And I was like, oh, thank the Lord. This story time doesn't even grasp how loud, rude, disrespectful, like, she was to everybody. Like, there was so much more. You had to live it. And those 4 girls, I'm sure they'll comment, like... So she starts walking to the end of the driveway, and I was like, I wouldn't want to walk to the end of the driveway at 3 a.m. in the dark by myself. My driveway is super long. And so I was like, "We'll walk with you." And she was like, "No, go f*** yourself. I help you." Super rude. And we were all calm and chill. No one was cussing. No one was nothing. So we're like, we're just going to walk behind her. So she's walking, and she's like 20 feet above us. So she ends up sitting on the road of the highway by my house, even though, like, she didn't want to be by us. Like, that didn't make sense. Her sister goes and checks on her, and Lily swings on her, and her sister just backs up and walks away. I was like, "You know what, fine, you can stay there." So her mom pulls up, right? Gets out of the car, and she's trying to pull up my driveway, and I'm like, "You're not about to pull up my driveway and be loud and wake my mama up." So, like, she didn't end up pulling up ever fully up on my driveway. Like, I stood my ground. And she's, like, all upset, and she's talking about somehow she was going to protect her babies or whatever. And, like... of course, like, I get that motherly instinct, but she wasn't getting the full story. She was just getting Lily's story. Anyway, so her mom ends up trying to get her sister to come home as well after Lily just gave us death threats, and of course she was like, "No, I'm not going. I didn't do anything." Everyone's crying at this point. They're shouting, screaming, cops being threatened to be called. So overdramatic. I mean, it was all girls, so, like... Anyway... Lily's uncle was there too, and so he ends up calming everyone down, which is the only time a situation a man has ever helped. I'm just kidding. I can't say that. Which is a situation a man has ever calmed down. And so basically, he calms it down and gets her to leave. And she leaves, and she ends up blocking me. She blocked me. Lily blocked me on everything. One of the beautiful girls from the 4 friend group now. Anyway, bye, beautiful people.
She got mad about a Disney princess. Okay. Next video.
Guys, if you ever think you're upset of being single, sometimes people are not in the goodest relationship with their partner or the healthiest one. So I had friend A here. Let me tell you, bro, like, me, I'm always gonna, like, root for you or whatever, but, like, sometimes we actually have to clock in and be like, what is my friend doing? Like, okay. So basically, like, we went out, and she was obsessed over this guy, and I was like, okay, cool. Then she wanted to go back to his house, and I was like, girl, we literally just met him. Like, no. This is the friend. She was just in her own la la land. She's like, no, it's on the way to our house, we'll be fine. I think that was like, bro, there was more than 2 guys. I was like, do you want to die? But at this point, there was no unconvincing this girl. So I was just like, okay, fine, whatever. So then we get to the house. These boys didn't even have keys to their house. They were sneaking through the window. And I was just like, is this not our sign to leave now? She's like, it's not that bad. Like, do you not forget your keys? And I was like, like, I don't know. I just feel like it's embarrassing to invite someone to your house and you don't even have a key to your house. You're like, let's call through the window. The way I would U-turn my ass back home. Anyways, then I was sitting in the car, the guy's car. There was no one in there, and I was sitting in there because this girl's like, I don't want you to come in, I don't want you to come in. And I was just like this girl is so stubborn. Like, I couldn't even like persuade her not to come, and we're already here. And I said, okay girl, they don't even have a key to the door. She's like, that's fine. Like, this is what I mean. Like, I don't even know how to help this girl in this situation at this point. So, like, mind you, we left the city at 2 a.m. I'm sitting in the car until the sun came up, guys. And I'm texting her. I'm like, okay, you okay? Like, oh, are you gonna come out? She's like, yeah, just soon. You know the way I just had to fall asleep in the car because I was like, I literally locked the car, but then they obviously have the key to the car. So, bro, like, at this point, I really thought I was gonna die. Like, what? Like, there are some friends that don't have any survival skills, and this one does not have survival skills because I'm still there with her, and yet she's still acting like she was, like I wasn't there. So yeah, we literally left the city at 2 a.m. and the sun came up, so that means what, 6 a.m. the girl is still in the house. And she's still responding. She's like, yeah, everything's good. And I'm like, I don't want to crawl through the window, like, because I told her, I was like, once you go in there, like, I can't come in, I'm so sorry. Then finally this motherfucking girl comes out, and it's like 7:30. She doesn't say anything. She's not upset or anything. Like, she's like, she wants to giggle. And I was just like, you know, at that point, I was so mad. Because I was like, if you wanted to come here for a D appointment, could I have just gone fucking home? Because what were you guys doing until 7 a.m? Talking? Shut the fuck up. And I was just like, bro. And then these guys, this is what I mean when standards are so low. These guys didn't drop us off course. And you know how cold it was in the car when I was sleeping in there? Like, I was probably wearing something like this. I was like, it was actually so cold. And then I was just so fucking mad. And then I just got an Uber. Because every time I told her, I was like, I'm going to get an Uber now because you're taking me too long. She's like, no, I'm going to come out. And I don't want to leave her there. You know what I mean? And then when she finally came out at 7 a.m, then we got the Uber. The way I just was silent the whole Uber. Because I was that pissed off. Because I was just like, and what do we know? The friend is dating that guy now. Dating him for what? He couldn't even drop you and your friend home. I'm actually like, I can't actually wrap my finger around this. Okay, so now that they're dating, that's the story of how they met. This guy was not even cute, so I don't know what she was like fluffing over. So a couple of months later, 6 months, they're still together, which I'm a bit surprised. I'm like, okay, sweet. And then one of my like cousins / close friends starts telling me, because all I know is his name and what country he's from. That's it. She's like, oh, like, I'm seeing this guy. And it's this guy. My friend's guy. And I was like, oh, does he live in this suburb? She's like, yeah. And I was like, oh. I was like, oh, can you send me a photo? Sends me a photo. It's him. 110% it's him. And then I just sit on it for a little bit. I just sit on it. And I just ask her, like, oh, how's your relationship going? She's like, oh, it's going great. And I was like, oh, okay, that's good to hear. But like, I just think this guy's shit, like, for obvious reasons, okay? Anyways, I tell her, I'm like, oh, you know, he's talking to one of my close friends or cousins, whatever. And she's like, oh, you're just jealous that time you had to stay in the car for 4 hours or 5 hours. And I was like, I'm not jealous. I'm just mad that I have to stay in the car for that long. What? And then it gets worse. My cousin / close friend, she's like, oh, I'm pregnant. Oh, she's like, no. She's like, oh, I've missed my period for 2 months. And I was like, you what? I was like, did you go get tested? She's like, oh, not yet. And I'm like, what the fuck are you waiting for? Get your ass up to the doctor. Like, I'm not even in the relationship, and like my heart is already beating. Like, I'm just like, and then she found out she was pregnant. So, and then like I didn't even want to tell this girl because my cat, what the fuck did she do? So anyway, she keeps the fucking baby because I don't know if it was like too late to get an abortion. Like, I don't know how many weeks is it 13 weeks? I'm confused. That's like 3 months, isn't it? I don't know. So she keeps the baby. It's a boy. News gets around, this is the baby daddy. And then this girl is like, do you know who this girl is? And I was like, nope, I don't know, but this is her Instagram. No, why is my phone lagging? No, because you didn't want to listen to me before. You didn't want to listen to me. So I just gave you the information and you can go sort it out, because I've told you they were together before, sleeping while he was dating you, but you didn't want to listen to me. Now this girl's pregnant, had a boy. And newsflash, they're still together because she's so delulu. She's thinking that's not the baby daddy. And I was like, okay. This is why you stay single, guys. Or just don't date shit men. So she's have a baby. It's like 6 months now. And I'm like, interesting. And they're still together. Like, why are you still together? So messy.
Okay guys, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to become part of the family, and let me know if y'all want to see a part 2. Thank y'all for watching.
That's fine for you. I do that 3 more times again.